In India, under British rule, one city had too many cobras, so the government made an offer. Kill a cobra, bring it in, get paid. A year later, the city had more cobras than before. Not fewer, more. And the reward was the reason. Here's how that happens. At first, the plan works. People hunt snakes for the money. Dead cobras pour in. Then someone gets a smarter idea. Why hunt cobras in the heat when you can breed them at home? So people start raising cobras just to kill them for the reward. The government finds out and shuts the whole thing down. Now the snakes are worthless. So the breeders open the cages, and the city fills with cobras more than it ever had. A fix that made the problem worse. There's a name for this, the Cobra Effect, named after that exact story. It's taught in economics classes, quoted in business books and big talks, but keep that Cobra story in mind. By the end, a piece of it breaks. Now travel to the year 1902, a different city, Hanoi, in Vietnam. Back then, it was ruled by France, and France had a man with a plan, Paul Doumer, the governor. He wanted Hanoi to look modern, clean, European, a Paris of the East. So he built a sewer system, miles of pipe beneath the streets, flushing toilets in the French homes. Proof, he thought, of progress. There was one problem he didn't see. Rats. A sewer is heaven for a rat, warm, dark, full of food, and nothing down there hunts them. So they bred. One pair of rats becomes dozens in a year. Dozens becomes thousands. And the pipes led somewhere nice, straight up into the French bathrooms. Rats began crawling out of the toilets in the grandest homes in the city, and something worse came with them, the plague. The disease that once emptied whole cities. It spreads through fleas that live on rats, and now the rats were everywhere. So France declared war on the rats. It hired teams of local men. Their job, go into the sewers and kill. Picture that for a second. You climb down into the dark. You wade through human waste. You hunt an animal that bites. An animal that might carry the plague, all for a small wage. And the men were good at it. One day, they killed over 20,000 rats. 20,000 in a single day. On paper, it looked like winning. But the rats kept coming. The sewers were too big. The rats bred too fast. The squats couldn't keep up, so France changed the rules. Now anyone could earn money killing rats. 1 rat, 1 cent. But here's the detail that mattered. You didn't hand in the whole rat. The officials didn't want the bodies. Too messy. Too much to deal with. So they asked for proof instead, just the tail. Bring in a rat's tail, get your cent. And for a while, tails poured in, thousands of them. The French were pleased. Then an inspector noticed something. Out in the streets of Hanoi, there were rats running around with no tails. Alive, healthy, just missing a tail. Someone had caught them, cut the tail off, and set them free. Because a live rat with no tail goes back to the sewer and makes more rats. More rats, more tails, more money. Why kill the thing that pays you? And it went past cutting tails. Out past the edge of the city, people started farming rats. Whole sheds of them, bred on purpose, raised for nothing but their tails. Others smuggled rats in from the countryside, carting rats towards a plague city. Because in Hanoi, a rat was cash. France had paid people to make rats, and people made rats. So the reward was cancelled. And when it ended, there were more rats than when it began. The exact shape of the Cobra story. A plan to wipe out an animal that quietly paid people to grow it. And this part isn't funny. A few years later, the plague reached Hanoi. At least 263 people died, most of them Vietnamese. The rats the city had paid to breed helped carry it. As for Doumer, the governor, he sailed home to France a hero. He later became the president. Now, back to the cobras. The story this whole idea is named after, the British, the reward, the cobra farms, here's the part almost nobody checks. There are no records of it. None. People have searched for over 100 years. No report of cobra farms. No order ending a cobra reward. No wave of freed snakes. The story that named the Cobra Effect may have never happened. So why does everyone repeat it? Because in 2001, one man wrote it down. A German economist, Horst Siebert, if I'm saying that right. He put it in a book. It sounded right. And no one asked him for proof. The famous story is the one we can't find. The rat story is the opposite. A historian named Michael Van was digging through old French files. Bored, buried in tax records. Then he opened a folder with a grim name. Destruction of animals in the city. Inside were the real farms. Day by day, rats killed, money paid. Over 20,000 rats on the 12th of June. The true Cobra Effect isn't the cobras. It's the rats no one names it after. But here's what actually matters. Whether the story is true or made up doesn't change whether the effect is real. Because it is real. And it isn't about who was clever or who was foolish. It's about you. Anytime you pay someone for a number, they will chase the number, not the real thing behind it. Pay for rat tails, you get tails. You don't get fewer rats. Reward a clinic for patients seen, and every visit gets shorter. The target stops being a measure and becomes the whole game, and the real problem slips away, like a rat with no tail, slipping back into the dark to make more. So the next time someone offers you a reward, ask one quiet question. What is this actually paying me to make?